Not great for my not buying things plan, but great for treasure hunting. Time for another thrift video. I'm heading to at least 3 stores today. It is Saturday, and I almost never go to thrift stores on Saturday because it is usually very busy. But my daughter's with grandma, and my son and my husband are having a guy's day, so I figured, what else do I have to do? I'm ignoring my laundry, I'm ignoring my adult responsibilities, and I'm gonna go thrifting to show you guys what's out at the thrift stores this weekend. First up, we are going to the Salvation Army here in Clearwater. This particular store hasn't had much the last few times I went in, but we'll see if that's changed. But I do like the prices at Salvation Army around here, so let's head in there and see what we can find. And if you're new to the channel, my name is Christy. I like to thrift, and I like to take you guys thrifting with me and show you all the things I can find. I used to do a lot of reselling. Now I do a few pop-up markets and sell a few things online. If you'd like to check out my Etsy shop and my online listings, those will be linked in the description. If you like this content, please hit subscribe and like this video so I know to keep making more. And if there's anything you want me to be on the lookout for, or any other kind of content you want to see on this page, please let me know. And of course, I am open to all constructive feedback. I'm still pretty new to this, so in the last video, a couple people did not like my background music, and I am okay with that. I do apologize. I'll try to pick a better one, but I do have to do voiceovers because every store in my area likes to pump the music. So to avoid any copyright issues, I do have to put music on the background. Unless you guys just want to hear me breathe the whole time, let me know in the comments. I am gonna head in and see what they have. Let's go. I did get my favorite parking spot today, so hopefully that's a good sign. Heading into the Salvation Army, I always start in the furniture section, even though I don't really need furniture. I really liked this blue leather chair. It wasn't in the best shape. It was priced at $70. Now they have a discount based on the date that things are there, but I have trouble following exactly what it is. This was a solid wood stool, and I think it was priced at $9.99, and I forgot to go back for it until I saw it in this video. I like this stand right here. It would be great to put a book on, maybe even a piece of art. There was no price on it though, so maybe someone claimed it. This one stopped me in my tracks. It was heavy, it was beautiful, crystal lamp. I love the size of it. I love everything about it. It was $12.99. I picked it up and immediately went back for a cart. Unfortunately, when I got to the cart, I noticed there was a massive crack in the base. It went almost all the way around. And as I'm not letting myself buy broken pieces, I did have to put it back. I saw this drop leaf table with the drawer. It would be perfect in a small space. It was only $50, which I think is really reasonable for a table that size. This crystal lamp was priced at $14.99, and it was huge and stunning. As you know, I have no place for lamps, so I wasn't able to buy it, but even the shade looked great on it. It was such a fantastic piece. This would be really cute in a country style kitchen. Imagine it hanging on the wall. It was Nordic ware, and there was no price on it, unfortunately, so I can't tell you what the price was. I did let a worker know that there was no price. She did not pick it up and follow up on that. There was this massive china set for $149.99. I've seen pieces of this, but I have never seen the full set in one place. I really love the teapot and this covered dish. It is the Friendly Farm pattern by Johnson Brothers. Around the corner, there was another onyx elephant. If you saw any of my earlier posts, I did find a very large one. This one was $3.99. Sadly, he did have a big repair in his leg and a chip on his toe, but that just means I'm going to keep this one for myself. Above him, there was this beautiful painted vase. It looks like it was hand done by someone, maybe locally. It was $5.99. Very talented artist with those flowers. This right here caught my eye. I love brown pottery. There was no marking. After a little research, it seems to be Monmouth pottery. It was $3.99 and in perfect condition. There was also this little mantle art It was $3.99. That would look beautiful on a mantle or a console table. I saw these hanging gold, I think they're fruit, right? Yes, fruit. Hanging gold fruit. They appeared to be Sirocco, no markings on them. There were some Corelle dishes, the Indian Summer. There was also some Spice of Life mini casserole dishes. They were priced at $3.99. The plates were $3.99. And above those was the blue cornflower. There were a couple different sizes. The set of 2 was $5.99. The large one was also $5.99. And then there was another set of 2. The smaller ones were $3.99. I've been looking for a divided dish. I really would prefer a rectangle one. I want to put it in my bedside drawer to organize things in there. But this one was really nice. It was only $1.99. I just don't really want a round one for in there. It was hard to film with my elephant in my hand, so I did go back for a cart, but of course that just means I'm going to find more stuff to put in the cart. Another divided dish, this one was maybe crystal or cut glass. It was more expensive, $7.99. I really like this Anchor Hocking deviled egg plate. Now that I found the one deviled egg plate I wanted, I am finding them everywhere. I did not get that one because I now have 2. I spotted this ginger jar in someone's cart. It was big and beautiful. I then found this deviled egg tray. It was only $1.99 and beautifully hand painted. It is Embassy quality products, and I picked that up for my friend because her aunt collects deviled egg trays. So I had every excuse to purchase that one. There were some hummels. I'm always finding hummels everywhere. And then this swordfish or sailfish, I don't know the difference, sadly was missing his nose there. So he was still $5.99, which was a little shocking, but I left him there on the shelf. And then I spotted this snail who was also sadly broken. He was only $1.99, a little more reasonable. From that side, you wouldn't be able to tell that he was broken. There were some chalkware plaques that would go great, again, in a cottage or country kitchen. They were priced at $7.99 a piece, very heavy, and no damage on those at all, which was impressive. There was this Clarice Cliff platter in the pattern Harvest. I love this brown color transferware. It would look nice on maybe a plate wall or just being used as a platter or as display. This is the second wall fountain I have found, which is interesting because I have never found them before. This one was $5.99. It was just a decorative one, and I didn't see the basin or bowl that goes underneath it. It was just this piece here. It said Maitland on the back, maybe hand painted or handmade. This looked to be Lenox. I really like the shape of this. You guys know I keep picking up Lenox. It has a soft spot in my heart because my mom collected it. This shape was interesting. I'm not allowed to buy more trinket dishes, but I would have. I finally found something yellow. It was this tissue box cover. It was very nice for maybe a ocean-themed bathroom, and it was also made in Taiwan, so it is vintage. This plate over here was also interesting. I love the detail inside of it. It was made in Italy. I think it was $3.99. I know you guys always question me when I think something was for ashes, but surely I thought this unfinished wood box would be lovely for someone's ashes. It was $3.99. I found this curtain rod holder. Sadly, it was only the one. It's not vintage, but I do like the look of it. It was priced at $5.99. Just the single though, so he stayed behind. This was a beautiful plate Elpa made in Portugal. It was $5.99. I wanted somewhere to put this, maybe underneath candles would be nice.
These are the glasses that I actually use in my home. This had some older stickers on it that said $1.99. They don't use these stickers at my location anymore. And then there was a second one back here that also had the older stickers, but it also had a new sticker for $3.99. So inflation hit this glass. I thought it was funny that they left the original stickers on it still. So of course I grabbed the $1.99 one. We use mix and match glasses, and this is a color that I don't have. I spotted this tin down here, and it was so beautiful. It was only $1.99. It was shiny, no markings on it. I believe it was a biscuit tin, but how beautiful would that look displayed? I picked it up and thought about putting it in the cart for a little while, but it was pretty scratched up and dented. I ultimately put it back. There was a lovely vase. I am a little bit of a vase hoarder lately. I certainly don't need any more, and it was $7.99. So back on the shelf, that one went, but I love the crazing. I love the colors. I found this little needlepoint down here. It's rare to find needlepoints out in the wild. It was $1.99. I love the frame, the colors. This is perfect for a gallery wall. So I did bring that home with me. Not doing well at not buying. I also spotted this framed, I don't know if it's a actual drawing or maybe a postcard, and it is of a church in Maine, and I just love the look of it. So for $1.99, that also went into my cart. I found this old scale made in Hungary. It should have a bowl on top of it because it is a kitchen scale. I just thought that was a pretty neat find. It would be cool on a kitchen counter. Over in the linens, I found this beautiful embroidery. I also found this vintage lace. I normally would have picked this up if I still had a booth. It was only $1.99. This is a Guatemalan embroidery, maybe a table runner or a wall hanging or whatever you want it to be. I couldn't find a price on it. They did give it to me for $3.99. I found this Croatian mask. I had to do some research on it, but it's for a carnival where single men run around in the streets. It was very interesting to do some research on that.
Okay, so far not so good. Not buying things. I spent $16 in there. I don't know if I remembered to get a cart shot. The Guatemalan embroidered piece for $3.99. I got the elephant, I got the egg platter for my friend, a glass for my house, and 2 little pieces of art. Not bad. I ran into some friends, and I always seem to run into people at that Salvation Army, so I do love to go there. I am now at the Goodwill in Clearwater. I very seldom come here because their prices have been absolutely crazy the last few times I went. It is packed here. I'm in the last parking spot, so I'm a little nervous to go in. And this is exactly why I try not to thrift on the weekends, but let's go in, see if there's even anything on the shelves still, because everyone is here right now.
This Goodwill actually launched my reselling journey. I used to find some amazing gems here for great prices. It was busy because it was $1.98 tag day. I didn't find any blue tags, of course. This basket caught my eye. It was carved wood, I guess not a basket. I couldn't find much information about it other than it's probably made in China. This vase kind of tricked me. I thought it was neat, but it was a Target vase. There were some embroidered or needlepoint chairs, an ottoman. $30 is a little bit out of my price range for each of them. Back in the day, those probably would have been $6, $10 maybe. I really like this chair though. It just looks so comfy and cozy. No price on it. I collect these frames and I put my kids' school pictures in them, but $7.99 original price and $5.18 for the Goodwill price. These wood chargers would look lovely on a fall table at $5.18 a piece. I did not get them. There was this little music box. I did like the feet on it. It was a very heavy and substantial piece. There was this carved wood bowl down here. I love the natural look of it. $9.18 for that. Not vintage or primitive, something more modern. There were these candle holders, which I love the pink color of them. $4.98 for this one, $6.98 for this one. They are available a set of 3 for about $23 on Amazon. I love a juicer. This one's $6.98. My husband did make a comment recently about us having too many juicers, so I couldn't get that. These looked like maybe they were Hull pottery, but I don't think they were. I tried to do some research on them. I found varying results. There was also this honey pot looking one, $5.18, or I guess it looked more like a barrel. And then this one that looked like maybe a basket. I thought acorn at first. This one maybe was Hull, I'm not sure. I wanted all of them, they'd look great for a fall display. There was this floral lidded box. It had a crack on it. I didn't bother to look at the bottom to see the price. There was a piece of E.O. Brody milk glass, $4.98. Not totally unreasonable, I guess. There was this handmade pottery spoon rest. It did have a signature on it, $5.18, not bad for handmade pottery. I found this blue and white planter back here, lovely planter. Not vintage, just from Ross, but it did have some cracks in it and a huge chip on the rim. This I thought was stunning, a little candelabra made of onyx, $10. Which I guess if you look it up, they go for some money in the larger size, but that was a teeny tiny one. I like this blue transferware pitcher. It was priced at $5.18, but it had a massive crack in it. The seashell was $4.18. I've never seen this one. I don't know names of seashells, but it was not broken or anything, so it was very beautiful. I found this Heartland pitcher. This is a very popular style right now, or pattern right now, because of the country or cottage style. There was this hobnail piece. I've never seen this one, but it might be a perfume bottle, possibly Fenton. It was $7.18, which was a little crazy in my opinion, considering if it was a perfume bottle, there was no stopper. This one you see a lot of, so I was also surprised to see that was $7.18 as well. I thought this looked really neat. I'm sure it was pretty valuable, $4.98. I got home and researched. It was an early American patterned glass from maybe the 1900s. It is Northwood Strawberry and Cable Compote. Always do your research when you're in the store. It may even glow under black light, so that was a big loss on my part for not doing some research. I found a couple of these tulip votives. If you don't know, they go on top of candle holders so they can hold votive candles. $3.18 each. I always check in the plates because you never know what you're gonna find. This was an old biscuit tin, or a biscuit holder, I guess it's not a tin. Made in Japan, $11.98. A cool find, but not something that I need. I like these style plates. They give 70s, 60s vibes, and luckily I like the things that not many people like because this whole set was $16.98. I love these speckled floral mugs. I don't need more mugs though, but that is something I normally would pick up. Nothing else really going on in the mugs today. I found these two Rubbermaid containers. These are the ones I use, and they're usually pretty expensive, so half the price they are in the store. I did get these.
That was actually exactly what I expected from that store. I used to live right by this one, and I used to get furniture for like $6 here. It's a definite big change, but it makes for great rage bait, so I'm still gonna stop in because we love to see stupid prices. I did get my Rubbermaid because they're brand new and they cost like 3 times the price brand new. I guess I'm pretty happy about that. All right, now I think I'm gonna go to St. Vincent de Paul. Make my way back towards home. Total spend so far today, because I rounded up at both stores, is $24 spent so far. Okay, change plans. This is on my way back, but it's not one of my usual stops. I had to check it out. I I have friends who shop here, so I don't want to blow up their spot, but...
New to me stop. I didn't know it was in the area, so I wanted to check it out. Right off the bat, there were these wooden shoe stretchers and clogs, a whole collection. I also found this mushroom, probably an incense holder. I really couldn't tell if it was vintage or not, though it looked vintage. It was $1.99. There was a ton of pink glass, federal glass, and satin glass. All kinds of things, more federal glass in the yellow and the clear down in the bottom. This was a beautiful ginger jar. I love the colors on it. $9.99. Everything was 25% off on this day as well, so keep that in mind as I'm looking at the prices. Down here I spotted this mosaic dish, $2.99, great price. It was made in 1985, but it did have a massive crack through the entire thing. There were some transferware plates. These would look great on a plate wall. I keep seeing plate walls and I want to do one, but I do not need another gallery wall. I will just keep dreaming of it. They're all around $1.99 a piece, very reasonably priced. These busts were maybe plastic. They had some weird spray paint. Their faces looked funny. More transferware. These were blue ones. This one was made in Italy. This one was $3.99. Blue and white is so big right now, so it's always going to be a little bit more expensive. There was this bowl as well. Very beautiful. Churchill. There were these Irish Dresden little thatched roof cottages. I love these little figures. They didn't have any markings, made in China. These ones over here were little angels. I love their faces. I spotted these orange creamer and teapot down here. They were made in Czechoslovakia. I like the orange speckled pattern on them. I wish there had been the sugar as well. They were $14.99 for the pair. There was also this green transferware plate. Lots of transferware. You could do all the colors in a plate wall. There was a whole collection of ceramic shoes over here. I really liked this one. It was a little cowboy boot. He was $1. Found a whole family of frogs here. I liked these ones that were just lounging. They could have been vintage or they could have been reproduction. So excited to find a brass apple bell. It was $1.99, but a massive crack in it. So sadly I did have to leave it behind. I loved this pattern here. These were Norsk Flint Egersund, made in Norway. There was the full set here. I think it said 49 pieces. It was $39.99. There was this bone china ashtray. It was only $1 and 25% off. So for 75 cents, I did pick this up. Amongst all of this haul, I found this Mountain Dew jug, which I've never seen such a thing, but apparently they are a collector's item. You would be surprised how many people are looking for this style of flatware. It was $14.99 for the entire set. I love this little flower candle holder. It was only 79 cents, so even cheaper than that, but it did have some chips along the edge, so I ultimately convinced myself to leave it behind. There were some Fiesta teacups and mugs, as well as a bunch of milk glass. I love these spice jars. Usually they're made in Germany, the lusterware, no markings on them. There was an oatmeal container, a rice container, an oil and vinegar, and a few of the spices. I looked for any of my regular spices because I thought they would look nice on my kitchen counter, but not anything I use quite regularly. Here are some rectangle dishes, which I was excited, but I don't really want the handles. I am looking for something very specific. I saw this sugar, I think it's for sugar packets, right? It was $1. I did pick that up. Of course, I did find a few things. I only spent like $3 though. I got the bone china ashtray, I got that Mountain Dew jug, and I got the sugar packet holder, and I'm going to use it for something at home.
I have an idea, but we'll see how that works. Okay, back to my original plan. I'm gonna go to St. Vincent de Paul. I think I have like 30 minutes before I have to head home, so that one's gonna be a quick one. And then I'm done. Last one, and definitely more crowded than I've ever seen it. So no more Saturdays.
Even though I was very tired and wanted to go home, I did want to make this stop because it's just on the way. Right off the bat, this Victorian sofa for $399.99. Imagine that in like a boudoir studio or, I don't know, a parlor. This little gem was hiding a carved end table with the dragon and the phoenix. Very beautiful. Always check every aisle. This was just like the hangers and bathroom stuff. There was this alabaster pedestal bird bath without the birds, but I have been looking everywhere for one of these. Down the end was an uncandle, which apparently you can just create a candle in vegetable oil. These were interesting. I swear I saw multiple of them throughout the day. I opened it to try to determine what it was, but literally still couldn't tell. I did look it up, and it is an egg coddler, and apparently they go for good money, and these were $1.99 a piece. I carried them around for a little while, but what use do I have for an egg coddler, seeing as I don't know what egg coddling is? So despite carrying them around, I did ultimately put them back. There was a nice floral vase here. It was $2.99. Interesting shape with the bows and the florals. A cobalt blue with snowflake mug. There were these Caribe? They're made in Puerto Rico. I had to do some research on these. They were $1.99 a piece. There was this pottery trinket dish, $2.99. It did have a signature on it. This was interesting. What are we keeping in here? It's like a dress form, maybe a sewing box. I found this Westmoreland milk glass. It had Cupid and Psyche on it. Very much my style, but no use for a milk glass plate. I'm not sure what these pottery pieces were meant for. There was also a bag of wine corks for 99 cents. Over here, I found a pewter tea set with the creamer, the sugar, the teapot, and the platter. Each piece was priced at $7.99. I thought it was interesting that the other pieces were smaller and the teapot itself was still $7.99. I found some Fire King Azurite, which you don't see very often. It's from the 1950s. Just the plates, no teacups. This was a beautiful, it looked like lace. I'm always impressed by these pieces made in Romania. It was $12.99. There was a thimble collection of states of the USA, a couple bags of those. There was this cut glass dish. They had it priced at $20 in the holder. I did look it up. It sells for $20 online. These were interesting, these copper lusterware with the painted flowers on them. I looked them up. They apparently can date back to the 1800s. So $7.99 per teacup may not be a bad price for what they are. There was also this Chinese jewelry box. They had it priced at $275.99, appraised at $450. I don't doubt the value because it had that mother of pearl inlay. The lining was beautiful. The lacquered box was in perfect condition. Definitely a stunner. There had been a matching dining table as well I forgot to get a shot of, so they may have come from the same house. Beautiful vase made in Japan, priced at $50. Tried to do some research. I am not very good with Asian antiques or Asian vintage. Definitely something of value. I liked this anthropomorphic guy. He was priced at $15.99, and so was his friend over there who was missing a wing and some legs. One of the workers saw it as well, or he was priced at $12.99, and she was a little in shock. She ended up taking him to the back for repricing. Set of 4 elephants, $30. Didn't get those elephants. All I got was my alabaster bowl. Okay, that's it for today. Total spend for the day was about $30, and I got a bunch of good stuff, in my opinion. I think that's going to be it for weekend thrifting for me, though, because everywhere was super busy. It wasn't like crowded, but it's probably not going to find too many good things. But I
got at least one thing at each store. Not great for my not buying things plan, but great for treasure hunting. All right, now I have to head to hockey and do mom stuff and put my house back together. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for watching, and I will see you again next week. Don't forget to subscribe, turn on your post notifications if you want to see when the next video comes out.